Hello, conscious fashion friends. Welcome to today's session. If you've watched my previous two videos, I was live streaming from Oahu, and now I am back home, but the weather is incredible, and so I'm enjoying and taking advantage of it by sitting outside. I absolutely love nature, and speaking of loving nature, I think it's super important that you get out there and enjoy, and nature brings such mindfulness and peace. So welcome, conscious fashion friend. Today we are working through excuse me, the this is the first time I've talked this morning, so my voice is still warming up, as you know. And if you are here, you are working through the Conscious Fashion Design Mini-Playbook. And this is an introduction to the key ingredients for achieving conscious fashion design and development processes. And this is for designers and entrepreneurs and even other industry pros. If you're not specifically a designer, it's still wonderful to learn the process of product so that you understand everything that has to go through and all the people it takes. If you are working corporately and you're on a team, there is going to be different roles and responsibilities, and somebody taking care of all of these different phases. So if you're a merchandiser or even a salesperson, gaining an understanding of what the design and development team is going through and what it takes to make good product is really great to understand. A little tidbit of my history and advice is one of my very first jobs, which was quite a few years ago back in New York City, is my boss at the time told me she kept encouraging me to learn as much as possible, not just in my role and responsibilities. I was a, entry-level design assistant. It was a pretty big company, so there was, I think there was like 3 floors of people. And so I was working with merchandisers and salespeople and pattern makers. And so she kept encouraging me to spend time with people in as many different departments as possible. And I think that's probably one of the best pieces of advice I received, because I did just that. And I absolutely loved it. I loved learning, and everyone on the team was so welcoming. So I would hang out in the pattern room, the pattern makers room. And I didn't have enough time to actually learn pattern making. Of course, you study that in school, but I would watch the pattern makers. I would talk to the pattern makers. I would find out what's working, what's not. If we had a design idea and for some reason the pattern was difficult, it was maybe too complicated of construction for a factory. Excuse the airplane part of being outside. So that is a piece of advice I also pass on to you is, if you're not in sales, hang out with a salesperson, pick their brain, learn as much as you can, just listen to them even. And another benefit along the course of my career was working very closely with the sales team, because as a designer and a creative director, we would have to present our collections to the sales team. And so understanding their needs, finding out what's working. Of course, they will share with you the number 1 sellers, number 2 sellers, all of those details and information comes from them and is wonderful to know and understand. So I highly encourage you, if you are in a company, no matter what size, I'm sure there's someone that you could learn more from just by asking questions and listening and just observing as well. So just a little bit of advice I'll throw in. If you're an entrepreneur or a solopreneur and you are 100% don't have access to people in different roles, that's where you can take advantage here in our platform, is you can reach out and message people. I strive to talk to people, interview people, provide, blog stories and content of people in different roles within the industry so that you can learn. And of course, there's all kinds of information on YouTube, and I'm sure you could find some things, but please feel free to reach out to me anytime with any specific questions, whether it's sales or tech design, those kind of things. So learn as much as you can. Learning is an ongoing process. I absolutely love learning myself. And so I'm constantly doing research and reading and looking at LinkedIn posts. I'm trying to read as much as I can to see what's happening out there in the world of design. And of course, AI is a big thing. So that now plays a role in our work and development. So important to understand, at least, start learning about that as well. So welcome to today. I think we're on our 7th video, I believe, of the playbook sessions. And last week we started phase 2, which is creative direction. And as I was mentioning, this is the fun part because this is where you're making product. So today's worksheet is about building your design toolbox. So to me, this incorporates kind of 2 different things. Well, it includes all kinds of tools and templates. This is going to be your system for all of the work that you do. So I also encourage you, create a folder, use Google Drive or Dropbox, whatever you use, create a folder and name it your design toolbox. And within there will be all of your tools and templates that you will constantly go back to. For example, I'm going to show you a couple things here, but for example, your female croquis. If you're doing menswear or women's wear, you have a male croquis, female croquis, and that is your template for drawing all your sketches on. So you go back to that and use the same one every single time. So we have that here available for you that you can certainly use if you want to create your own and make it a specific shape or style. If you're doing, gender neutral, unisex, plus size, any of those categories, and you want to alter or create your own croquis, by all means go for it. What I will say is that keep it, once you get it, finalize it, fine tune it, and keep it the same and go back to it every single time. Because this is what you're going to share. Your sketches are drawn on that croquis, and that's what you're going to be sharing with your pattern maker, your tech designer, your factory. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat. So you want it to be consistent. You want your template, your croquis, your sketches to look the same every single time when you pass them off. That way the factory will really start to understand your language, your aesthetic. And I did mention this in a previous video. If you're not an experienced illustrator in drawing sketches and that kind of thing, do not worry. You can do this. You can print out the croquis and do it by hand in pencil. If you wish, you can do it digitally in Illustrator. Most of, I would say 99% of the time when we were creating styles and tech packs and things like that, it is done on a template on the computer. So everything is clean and consistent. You can add in stitch details and all those things. So if you don't know Illustrator, I encourage you to get some basics down if you are doing this yourself, because at some point you will need a technical drawing that you will pass off to the rest of your team in the process. And it needs to include a lot of details. And to do those by hand would be difficult. You could do the first few concept ideas on a croquis by hand. Once you get your style finalized, it needs to be in Illustrator, or maybe there's some other program that you use that you like, but you need to have that sketch. And now I know there's tons of AI out there. There's tools like Clo3. There's another one I've used a few times now. I'm blanking on the name, but it's very possible you're already experimenting with some of these things and using AI, and then you might have a 3D image or an avatar. So that is also super helpful and super cool, because you can make adjustments super easily. Like, if you're working on a skirt and you want it shorter or longer and you're using an AI tool, you just tell it, oh, make it a little bit shorter. I want it to be above the knee. And it'll very quickly, if you have experienced it, it could be in 30 seconds or 40, it totally transforms into a different altered sketch. So actually, I would love if you're using AI tools like that, send me a message and see if just share with me what you're doing, and I'd love to see it. So Nonetheless, whatever your tool you're using, Adobe Illustrator, some 3D thing, have your tools and your templates organized in a folder where you can easily grab. And if you are working with the team and you want to give them access, they might be working on sketches themselves, and then everyone on your team is using the exact same template, so everything looks consistent. You don't want one designer doing their own aesthetic of sketch and then you're doing a different one, and then you try to come together to work with a factory and they're just all over the place, different styles. They're going to be very confused. So this becomes part of your brand aesthetic and what your partners will understand about you when you get to that point. So I am going to share with you today a couple of things. Let's see if I can share screen. Chrome tab. Share the tab instead. Okay, it's saying share the tab, but yet select tab to share. Cancel. Oh gosh. Hold on. I'm not using Zoom for this, just to explain. Zoom is super easy, of course, to share the screen. I am on the community platform, which is through Mighty Networks, which I absolutely love. I'm not as experienced doing these share screens. It's a little bit different. So give me a moment here. Your design toolbox. I think this will work now. Let me try again. There we go. Share. Okay, so what you're seeing here is over in the menu bar of this platform on the left-hand side is all of the things within this platform. Some of them are hidden because they are for our monthly paying members, which you get access to a lot more tools and templates and information and whatnot. If you're on the free version, you still get tons of these things. So there's community groups. I'm kind of going off topic of the design toolkit, but since I'm here, I'll just show you. You can join a group, students, educators, ethical fashion makers. We had quite a few Nike folks on here, so I put together a little group. And so there's all these topics on the left-hand side, and that is where you will find, or you probably have found, the mini course is listed over there. So if you can see here, design toolkit, so you click on that, which brings you to this page. The top menu explains or divides everything into the different things that are included in this. So design toolbox, go to tools at the top menu, discover helpful tools. This page just kind of gives you an overview of what is in here. So there is Kroki templates, technical drawing template, visual line plan, design brief, creative direction. This is all the tools that you can use when you're working through this process. There's even a costing template. We talked about financing and costing in a previous video. I think it was our second one because we were talking about business plan and financing. So there's a costing template in here. So from there, you go to tools, and these are the actual items that you can use. So to start, here is a female Kroki. So I'm going to show that to you. It's a little bit hard to see maybe because it is a very light line. This is in Illustrator, so you can download this, or it might be saved as a PDF, but yeah, so you can download the PDF and open it as AI. There's a front view and a back view. Very simple, very basic. I know sometimes you might need to show a side view or a 3/4 view or something, and I think we have a 3/4 view somewhere in here, but at least this is to get you started. So this is available for you. There is a second version, and there's also a male version. I don't have kids in here. I guess I just don't do that much with the kids stuff, but I'm sure you could easily find a children's template as well. So take this, you can download it and save it in your new folder, whether it's, Google Drive or Dropbox or what have you, and upload into the folders all these tools that you can constantly reference. Of course, you can come back and grab them from here as many times as you want, but you need to start gathering all of these things for your own work. So have your folder, call it Design Toolkit, and start uploading all of these templates into there. In addition to the Croquis is a great place to start because that's what you're going to use for your you can use it for concepting in pencil. Once you get finalized, you can use it for technical sketches. If you're using AI and you have a 3D avatar version, you could snapshot that and copy and paste that into a page as well. Factories still like to have a flat two-dimensional sketch that they can use for building their pattern. So you still will need that. I'm sure there's some factories that are using 3D and avatars and Clo3 and all those things, but I really still strongly believe in having a flat sketch with all the stitch details and all of that on there, just for clarity and to avoid mistakes and to make it very clear to the factory. So I will show you another tool. It's Style Brief Template. This is, again, you can download this. This is for sharing information. You can combine this with your other page of your sketch. You will get to a tech pack eventually, and we will talk about that in a future session. Today is just about all the tools that are available to you. So this I find super helpful as well because you can share, the material, which is going to make a difference is how it looks and feels and drapes and all that. So if you put in here, 100% silk, the person that does view this, whether maybe it's a merchandiser looking at what you're putting together, they will know, okay, this one's 100% silk. It's going to be drapey. It's maybe this weight, so it's going to be very lightweight and flowy. It gives them an idea of what the aesthetic and what you're going for. The fit, again, is it loose and flowy, or is it a fitted blouse with buttons? You can, relaxed, loose fit. Is it skinny fit? If it's a stretch item and say a sports bra, of course, it's going to be stretch material. It's going to fit next to skin. And then features. This is great too, so people also understand what the call outs are. Maybe it is a recycled piece and you want that to be one of the key features that everyone should be aware of. You put that in here. If it's maybe got a special technical feature like a hidden pocket, or it's worn in multiple ways where it folds into one thing and then you reopen it and it comes out as a different thing. All of those features, anything you would use in marketing and selling, you want to have those listed so that everybody on the team understands, okay, this is a, poncho that folds into a tote bag. Everyone will understand what's happening with your design and development. So there's also a line plan template. And here's an example. So you put the season, what is the category, and then styles. And here's where you start listing, the style specifics. Usually by now at this point, or when you get further along, you're going to have a price point that you're going to. This one had different price points. It has the size range. Are you doing extra small to 3X? Are you doing, full plus size range? Is it bra sizing? You put all of that in here. Again, there's features. And eventually these will go again to, you can use these into your final line plan, which could be used for a catalog, which could be used to share with salespeople. So this is at least for you to get going. I love this tool personally because it shows me as the designer exactly how many items we're working on, what the different features are, what the different materials are. This one could be 100% nylon and this one could be fully recycled something. You can see this one is shorter, this one's longer. So I can quickly glance and see, okay, this is a 9-inch. I have a 9-inch volley, a 9-inch e-board, an 11-inch board. So if a salesperson or a manager came and asked me, you know, what do you've got in 9-inch volleys? I'll say, okay, this is the one we've got. So that is also a great tool. There's a PDF you can download as well. In here is a tech pack template. These are in Excel, or if you're on Apple, it would be a numbers program. I do have that open. We in the past have done these in Illustrator as well, but it's much more difficult because you've got spreadsheets in here with maybe some specs and whatnot. So you really are most likely using an Excel document, or I should take that back. There's several tools that are also product development tools, PLM systems. There's other online programs that are digital where you can upload. I'll quickly mention this. This is one that I love. This is called Engine Digital Tech Design Tool. And okay, there is a video in here, so I'm not going to play that, but it has everything that I'm talking about today within this program, and you can share it with a factory. So if you upload and use this platform, you can have everything right there, whether you're going overseas or domestic or even to one sewer, everything is in here. You can have it all in one spot, and it's live. So if you go in there and update, you don't have to like constantly redo a spreadsheet. It just automatically updates across the board. So that's a wonderful tool that we love. But let me show you the one that is in here. So this is, and this is good to see also because this is what is included in a tech pack. And again, we're going to go through that in a future session. But just to give you an idea of the tool, it has several tabs. So that's your cover page. This is an inspiration image, specific callouts. Maybe you're putting different colorways and prints, all of these things. Bill of materials, you have to list everything that you're using for the garment. Folding, label placement, specs. What is this one? First fit comments. You're going to have fit sessions. Everything is in here so that the whole team and anyone involved in developing will have access to this. So we'll talk about that more in the future. The other thing, stop sharing. The other thing, oh, the sun is coming out. It's moving. The other part in the beginning I had mentioned there's kind of two different thoughts or two different things about the design toolkit. So that's all of the templates and all of the spreadsheets and whatnot that you could use in your development. The other part of a design toolkit that you would share with your team is your branding, your logos. You might have a brand guideline, which could be a small deck that shows everybody working with the rules and how to use the branding. So Nike, for example, they gave us a huge, I think it was, an entire binder full of what you can and cannot do with the swoosh. You can't put it upside down. You couldn't put it sideways. Which font it is, the colors that you could use. So you need to build your own brand kit. And I believe in one of the options in the side menu or in the available resources is a branding kit. Again, I use Canva. So I would just go to Canva. If you even Google or search in Canva brand kit, you'll get a template and that will easily guide you on what you should be including. So I encourage you to also have that. And it's also a good filter for you. Because if you decide your logo is always going to be this shade of green, when you pass it off to someone else, you want to make sure that you yourself are using that shade of green. If they open up, a file in Illustrator and they click on the color and it's slightly off for some reason because you didn't put the exact formula in there, the work that they do could become altered. And, you know, when you pass something along several times, like it's playing a game of telephone where it starts loosely getting transformed into something else. So it's a good guide for you. You can always go in there and grab your logo and just upload it, copy and paste or whatever, from the same brand deck every single time. So it is always consistent. So your assignment for now, and I'd love to hear how it goes and tell me in the next session, message me. Your assignment is to set up your design toolbox. So you're going to have your folder, you're going to upload all the templates that you need, and this could be ongoing evolution, you know, finding more tools and adding them in there, but just be very organized, be very clear, save everything under the proper name, female croquis, male croquis, tech pack template, etc., so that everyone is pulling from the same document and the same file every single time. So it will keep you consistent, it will keep you on track, it'll keep your aesthetic aligned, and anyone that sees these will know that it's you. You can put your branding on, you know, in the corner of every single document and page that you create, so that, again, if it gets sent to a factory or a maker, they know it's you. You've got all your information in there. And so that is your design toolkit. It's a wonderful way to have everything organized and set for yourself and for anyone else that sees this. And if you want any feedback on your logo, your branding, your setup, your organization, missing documents and tools, just reach out. That's why we are here. And this is, again, the mini playbook that we're working through. And so we will continue on to the next steps next week. And show me your homework, see what you're doing. And I hope you are doing your homework, and let me know how it's going. Let me know what any big challenges you have, questions you have, anything you're struggling with. Reach out, send me a note. So farewell, enjoy the rest of your day and your week, and I will see you on the next one.